Hello adventurers, and welcome to the last episode of our Travel Back series, where we take you to Malaysia. We were joined on this trip by my extended family to celebrate my mom's 60th birthday. That was in April 2014, pre-kids. Hop on to a journey through a diverse country with a fascinating fusion of Malay, Chinese, Indian and indigenous cultures, where we got to spend time in bustling Kuala Lumpur, explore the green and lush landscape of the Cameron Highlands, the colonial-style city of Georgetown on Penang Island, as well as exotic beaches on a secluded island called Pangkor Laut. We actually chose Kuala Lumpur as we had a friend there who at that time ran the Shangri-La Hotel. We shared a luxurious hotel with the Sultan of Brunei, who happened to be there at the same time like us. We understand why he chose it. The hotel is beautiful. After arriving in Malaysia's capital, we took off to explore the city on foot. From large shopping malls to local markets, Little India and the National Mosque. Even though we walked the entire day, we obviously only discovered a small part of Kuala Lumpur. We also paid the bird park a visit, which is located in the serene and scenic Kuala Lumpur Lake Gardens. It is home to more than 3,000 local and foreign birds of approximately 200 different species. One of the park's most extraordinary features is that the birds are let free in the aviary, which closely resembles their natural habitat. With this free flight concept, birds are able to breed naturally in this unique environment. And then it was time to head out of the city. We rented a car and drove north. First stop was at the Batu Caves in Selangor. A limestone outcrop, Batu Caves has three main caves featuring temples and Hindu shrines. The 47-meter-sized statue of the Hindu god Murugan at the entrance is an eye-catcher and the tallest statue of Murugan in the world. When climbing the 272 steps to reach the temple complex and view the stunning skyline of the city center, you get entertained by countless monkeys who probably got used a bit too much to humans. We then continued our drive to the Cameron Highlands, named after William Cameron, a British explorer and geologist. The tableland is known for its tea estates, the cool weather, farmlands, wildlife, and mossy forests. On our first day, we explored a strawberry farm and learned a lot about the tea making process on the Bowl Tea Estate. The true character of tea is greatly influenced by the conditions at the tea estates, namely high altitude, low temperatures, abundant rainfall, and acidic soil. With amazing landscapes and stunning panoramic views, the plantations are truly picturesque. After having enjoyed a cup of tea on the outdoor terrace, taking in the great view of the valley and the rolling green vistas, we continued to the Rose Center. The Rose Center spreads over 10 levels of terrace where you get to enjoy the splendor rose blooming of over 100 varieties in every imaginable color. In addition, you get to see various cultural murals, colorful stone sculptures which blend well with the landscaping. In the evening we were joined by my brother, who made the caravan, as we like to call our multi-generation travel group, complete. We celebrated with a traditional Malay steamboat. It was the perfect dish to be enjoyed outdoors on a chilly spring evening. In general, Malaysia is a true haven for foodies. The next morning we had to put our packing skills to test when it came to loading our car. The hotel bellboys were not positive we could fit everything in, but it worked out perfectly and the process was just hilarious. After several attempts, we finally hit the road.
Highlands, turn right on Jalan Gobek, then keep left.
Via Ipoh, Malaysia's third largest city, who is rich in British colonial history, we travelled to Penang Island. Ipoh, just for the record, is also known as the hipster capital of Malaysia. We fell in love with Penang Island, once known as the Pearl of the Orient. The first night we spent in Batu Caves, which is famous for its long stretch of soft, white sandy beach and its night market. We then continued to Georgetown, which was very different but equally astonishing. The Eastern Oriental Hotel where we stayed made it into our personal all-time favorite hotels we ever stayed at. For well over a century, this remarkable hotel, known simply as the E&O to generations of travelers, has stood as a testament to the grand elegance of the British colonial era, and in many ways it has also come to represent Penang itself. Being explorers at heart, it did not take us long to head out to the city. With our unofficial guide, Akka my brother, we wandered the streets.
Very good job.
We visited the Straits Chinese Jewelry Museum, where a typical home of a rich Baba of a century ago is recreated to offer a glimpse of their opulent lifestyle and their many customs and traditions. A Baba, in case you wonder, was a prominent community of acculturated Chinese unique to this part of the world. They are mainly found in the Strait settlements Penang, Malacca, and Singapore. We continued to the old town, where we admired street art on large-scale murals. The young Lithuanian artist Ernest Zacharevich was commissioned in 2012 by the Penang Municipal Council to create a street art project called Mirrors Georgetown. Whilst researching for this video, we learned that some of his paintings are fading and hardly visible nowadays. Our last stop on the Penang Heritage Trail were the clan jetties. Built as one of the last bastions of old Chinese settlements on the island, the water villages are over a century old, and each jetty is named after a Chinese clan. The Zhou jetty is the most tourist-friendly, with the most stilt houses, the longest walkway, and a temple that is worth stopping by. We ended the night on the rooftop terrace of our hotel, which was truly the perfect place to celebrate our 5th wedding anniversary. The next morning did not go as planned. Mr. Singh had passed away during the night. Not that we had heard of him before, but Mr. Singh was an Indian Malaysian politician and lawyer, a controversial figure we learned, who was admired by the oppressed and marginalized and called the Tiger of Georgetown. His funeral was taking place and the streets were crammed with thousands and thousands of mourners. Needless to say, it took us forever to leave Georgetown. It was interesting to see how his life was celebrated. However, we had a boat transfer scheduled to our next destination, and yep, you guessed right, we missed that one. But after all, that is part of traveling. After some confusion and several phone calls, we managed to organize the private transfer to Pangkor Laut, the island we were planning to visit next.
Das noch ein bisschen schneller.
We traveled by speedboat along the Straits of Malacca, and 3 miles off the west coast of Malaysia, we docked at Pangkor Laut Resort. Nestled amidst an ancient rainforest, fringed by wide sandy beaches and surrounded by emerald waters. Of the island's 300 acres, only a fraction has been developed. The wooden buildings blend seamlessly into the forest, walls curve around foliage, and roofs open up to allow trees to continue on their journey to the sky. The late Luciano Pavarotti declared this exact spot as his paradise. Resting beneath the shade of forest giants as old as the land, the island is not only home to one of the world's premier resorts, but also to a variety of wildlife. The long-tailed macaques, for example, who paid us a visit. The cheeky monkey opened our closed balcony door, inspected our backpacks and suitcase, but finally decided to go for some cup noodles from the minibar, which later showed up on our bill. You're welcome, Mr. Monkey. After all, we intruded your habitat, and not vice versa.
Nein, eben, dann... Jetzt kommt der Monkeyfänger da unten. Jetzt kommen natürlich alle zu wissen, dass das da ist.
Nature is respected here, almost revered, and it rewards visitors in ways that simply need to be experienced. We walked through the jungle to Emerald Bay, where oriental pied hornbills perched in the branches, while white-bellied sea eagles soared overhead, and large monitor lizards sunbathed on the rocky outcrops. Malaysia, you are a gem. With your diversity and the extremely friendly people, you helped us create treasured memories as a family. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You were truly magical.